YouTube Nation Archie here, and I had to bring this story up. I had to get this one in. I've been looking into this and checking it out, and I even tried calling the head detective in Swampscott, Mass, about this. I never got a call back. But this is Henry Badard Jr. Been missing since not missing, but been murdered, and the killers have never been found. And it's been since 1974. And what strikes me odd of this story is, of course, the investigation that was taking place. The police, did not take the time, which maybe they couldn't at the time do what I'm thinking, but could have got creative on how they could have done it. But and if it was me, these are my thoughts and theories, but the police never took every kid in this town at the time and interviewed them, which I would have as a detective. I would have took the time, and I would have came up with some crazy story if they used the theory, of course, that you can't interview someone for no reason, if that was the case. But me, I would have said and called all the parents and said, we have a murder here in our town, and to be safe and on the safe side, we need to get all the kids throughout the town, I'd say, or even put out a poster board for parents to bring in their teenage kids. We have a drifter in town, or passing through, or a drifter, an outsider. We want to make sure your kids are safe, and we want to make sure that your kids, if they have seen any mysterious people, coming through our town. That's what I would have done as a detective. And if, the parents would give the parents permission, give their kids permission, and they would have brought them in back then. That's what I would have come up with. I don't know what they did. But the story goes, and for the first time on one of these, these articles on the web, his older sister came out and spoke. She don't like to speak about her brother, due to the fact that it is really a bad tragedy to their family. And they say his father, Henry Badard Sr., took it very hard. That's why I want to get this case looked on my channel or whatever and tell the story, the tale, and thoughts and theories that I kind of came up with. But like I said, it was hard for everybody at this time, and as the story goes, and his sister keeps hearing about this card game. I guess back in the 70s in Swampscott, kids of this age, 15 he was, like to place bets on card games and do card games and gamble. And I don't know, everybody that she thinks not knows, but thinks knows something of the case. It was about this card game And Mr. Henry Bernard Jr. here must have been a very good card player. Probably be up there taking everybody's money. He was a very popular kid. Very good looking, as you can see. Andy had, they said in this article, well, not this article, his sister's article. This one, I don't know. Maybe it is this one, but there's a lot of them out there, and I get confused because there's just so many of them. But this one has the weapon over here, which I'll go over that in a minute. But his sister claimed that he was a very outspoken person. He wouldn't back down from a fight, but he would not start fights. He also was the type, where boys at this time and in this town would be shy and write notes to girls about, asking to go out and all this. This Henry Bernard here, he'd just literally go up there and say what he had to say. So he was a very outspoken kid. Very good looking, like I said, as you can see. And, in my thoughts and theories, I think someone despised this boy back in them days. And I've been in them situations and seen them situations of kids liking girls and asking girls out, and other kids getting very, very jealous and, talking about, oh, he's going out with that girl, and yeah, he's a jerk, they go ramble on about things and do things, and, I've seen shit like that happen, but not murder, anything to murder. I've seen fights break out due to, you're going out with my girlfriend, man, what the fuck, and da-da-da-da, and, in my thoughts and theories in this story, I believe that Henry here, maybe have gotten a girl to someone that jealous enough to be in a bit of rage. And there's people out there, boy, that do that. Seriously. You look into the TV shows of the, the true story murders and everything, and you come across something that, oh, this lady was sick of this person, she went on to move on, and this other person get jealous, and, now the lady's dead, and the boyfriend's dead, and O.J. Simpson. Perfect example. Couldn't dare to stand and see his wife with another man. And here he is in his interview not too long ago last week talking about how he came up on his old lady there, Nicole Simpson, giving head to a guy in his apartment or her apartment. Things like this. And, good-looking people come along and have a, free-spirited mind and just good-looking and can have and take anything they want. And I'm sure this Henry Bernard had that, little system going on for himself. No biggie. Kid had in the day he got murdered, he bought his sister, what the hell was it? I don't know, he went to the earrings or something. He went out and bought his sister something that day. That's how charming and willing and witting this kid was. I mean, just by looking at his picture, I can tell that he knew the right things to do with the ladies. I mean, he did have a close bond with his sister. Hey, get his sister something, show girls in the neighborhood, hey, this is how I treat my women, and this is how I treat my sister, Kid had some potential. Kid had some eager friggin', ways of life, and that's good. That's good. You find a good man like this. As a woman, you got yourself someone that's, pure gold to me. But All I'm saying, someone had to have been, what I think happened to this poor kid, as this Louisville slugger over here is the bottom of a baseball bat with some numbers or Roman numerals. Okay, I don't use them words every day. Bashed this kid's skull in. I mean, to me, I think it was a bit of rage, as they claim, because Mr. Henry Bernard here must have got a hold of something that someone liked, and then the police say that this bet that was made couldn't have been a boy that grew up around here, who is now one of the investigators in the case, I guess, said that he was 10 years old when this happened, and when kids did do these card games, as he recalled, it wouldn't be over more than $40. So who would kill someone if this kid won $40? Then again, what if he took the whole pile from all the kids, which if it's all up to $30-40, hey, that's almost $200-300. Or how many kids are playing? $60, $100, you know. And they say it could be 2 people that killed him, 1 person, but case is still unsolved. And this article came out in 2004. So I've been looking up on the story for the past few days because I ain't been able to get out to do my King Philip War yet. Still got a little trouble getting out. I only got so much time. Morning time, I got time to do these kind of videos that I like to do because I love mystery. And this one's all based on mystery. And it just is strange on the mapping that I did, and I'm going to do in a minute too, of what, well, I might do that in another video, the mapping out, but this is like an intro video and going over the murder weapon. The next video I want to do will be the mapping of the town he lived in, where he was seen last, where he was walking, and so forth on that. And this one, like I said, I want to go over the murder weapon, but just the way this all came about and turned out, to me, Mr. Bernard here, like I say, got this more than just a card game. I mean, something for the police not to investigate, like I said. I would have got every teenager in town to come in due to some freaky, type thing. Like, use the Charlie Manson method if you had to, just to scare kids. And tell them there's a man out there roaming or something to get them to come in and, not just sit here and just take evidence, and someone should have pushed for something that wasn't illegal to do, but to get at least one kid that comes in, sit in that chair and would get spooked because they're in a police station. Gradually talk about things and, oh yeah, and get them to come out with, oh, this kid was beat with a baseball bat, bashed in, and blah, 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 and this drifter, and, something could have came about with that. But this kid, man, I don't know, he was buried in, now going over where he was buried in some leaves, and the bat was not too far away from him. And like I said, my next mapping of the video is, gonna show you what the hell was he doing in this area. They said that he might have been meeting someone he knew. DPW workers in the area saw him, and he actually had to cross through the DPW yard of that town to get where he was going. So, but then again, how cases cannot come out with full detail. and people come out with not the full detail, it makes it even more harder to understand. In this case, very hard to understand, because where he used to walk and where he was walking, or where he would normally walk and where he was walking, he was way off, and his home was not even around there, they claim. His sister said something about there was a lumber yard they used to walk through, and when I looked up this lumber yard that she said that was now like a gym. It just it ain't nowhere near. I mean, it's like almost probably a quarter or a mile away from where he was. And where he was, they said his house wasn't even around there. So what was he doing there? So it's like, what the hell? It's just, and then like where I'm going through my missing case of the Taj Narbonne story, even that detective said, I can't give you much information on this case because it's, it would hurt the case or something he knows that no one else is to know. And like this one, I'm sure that is the case too. What they know, they cannot know. You cannot know about. So I don't know. It's just when you can't get the full story, it's very difficult to deal with and consume in your head. So let's go to the murder weapon. I took some hopefully it comes up. The pug. Go in the gallery here. Now, here is the bat. And I downloaded some other pictures. And this has some markings on it that they say are Roman numerals. If I can get in and friggin'. Alright. As you can see, there's a 1 there. There's a V with a line under it and a line on the side of it. Yeah, it could be almost confused as a Roman numeral 6. But what I don't understand is, and then it could look as like it's a K for a name. And then the 1 behind it, that's the bat size, of course. Which bats vary from 31 inches to 30 inches. And this one obviously is a 31. They say there's a 0 over near the 1, a little 0. And someone claimed that this bat could have belonged to someone on a team, of course, in Swampscott. Why they would leave their markings is beyond me. The person either wore the number 10 or the number 6. And supposedly back in these days, the 70s, and all through the, 60s, 50s, whatever, they claim that baseball players would mark their bats with the numbers of their shirts, so when they would go grab it for their time up the bat, they don't grab the wrong bat. I will verify that, because my father's a huge baseball fan, and I will see if I can verify that in my next video. But this guy that said that claimed that this is what that is, markings of someone. They used to own the number 10 number, and it was like carried on down to the next person who would be number 6. But what I don't understand is, why didn't they go through the high school and figure out whose number was who? The coaches will have to reminisce on who wore numbers, or certain numbers. I'm sure they were players that they could remember. Why, if that was searched, don't know. It just, who was number 6, who was number 10? Did they even look into this? If they did, they did, but it's just, how do you get something like this and then don't look into it? Or if you did, how come you cannot come out with a suspect or a number or a player? Now, what I came up with, in 1974, there was a movie, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. as I'm starting to watch the movie, I watched it when I was a kid. Then I rewatched it, of course, about last year. Or maybe this year. No, it was last year. And I came up with this. And this, in the beginning of the movie, is like something falling from the sky. Like the camera's falling from the sky, doing all this visual skydive stuff to go into a city, and this comes up. What this marking means from that movie is, I don't know. But to me, as you look at it, and you bring that line to the top, you will have that funky looking K, the Roman numeral, or this is almost identical to like the Blair Witch Project, where on the cover of the movie case you see that marking right there, similar to this. It's not the same, but it's similar. But that didn't come out till like 2006 or 2004 or whatever the time that movie came out with the Blair Witch Project. But this came out in 1974, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Now, if someone was copying this or doing something in a satanic ritual, I don't know why this thing was placed in the clouds of the movie. But to me, it looks like that fucking thing on the bat. And in what I think someone was trying to maybe make this marking and screwed it up. But if you look on, I gotta get a better vision of the bat, and I'm gonna be putting that in the thumbnail picture. But in the bat, you can see it was like scratched in real deep, like someone messed up a line. They messed it up, so they scratched it and got pissed off. That's what I think. They got pissed off because they scratched it in, and it came up, screwy. And they downloaded this. Of course, you bring that line over here down a little bit, and you got yourself the Roman numeral. The line across to make the V at the bottom or whatever. Like I said over here, the scratching of the line is like deep, and it's all messed up, like they scribbled it in. But without a doubt, to me, it looks unfinished, like someone messed it up. Maybe he was making a Roman numeral of the 6, but what if they were making this too? Or that other thing from the movie? I mean, satanic ritual people, who knows? It's just friggin' crazy how this case is just, how it just plays a role of, we get a better view over here. No, I don't think so. It's just crazy how this fucking case is just, how it's looked at and how it's, portrayed and shit. That bat they have, but no fingerprints, of course. Whoever did it must, of course, wore gloves, because it was December 16th when his body was found. But it just, what does that marking mean? If it is Roman numerals, if they did do that with their bat, why didn't they check out numbers at a baseball team? Or at that at any fucking team throughout the towns or anything? I don't know, but I'm going to cover this case. And I am going to even try to get the Swampscott. I'm going to go to that hill in the DPW yard, and I think it still stands to this day. It's like a, yeah, it does, of course, but I got to get permission to get out there, and I'm going to go on that hill where his body was found. Who knows? I'm going to try and see if I can talk to his spirit, maybe. Because like I said, my videos of ghost hunting has been getting ghost activity, and I'm definitely going to be putting up a couple cameras up there And maybe, who knows, maybe he can call from the dead like the Indians used to do, talk to the spirits. Maybe I can get a name. That's what I'm going to try and do. But the next video is going to be mapping out where it was and show you how screwed up this story is because of the distance of the places where he should have been and where he was. And I'm gonna might go over the murder weapon better or something. Like I said, I have a better picture up. I'm gonna go over something else too in a video, but until then, next videos, and don't worry, I'm gonna get the King Philip War going soon. Just running out of time because of appointments and stuff. But until that next video comes up, YouTube out.